Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Literature. In today's video, we will be discussing about Kamala Das Suraya's two poems, an introduction and this Sunshine Cat. So I will read the poem first. I don't know politics, but I know the name of those in power and can repeat them like days of week or names of months. Beginning with Nehru, I am Indian, very born in Malabar. I speak three languages, write in two, dream in one. Don't write in English, they said English is not your mother tongue. Why not leave me alone, critics, friends, visiting cousins? Every one of you, why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine. Its distortions, its queerness, all mine, mine alone. It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. It is as human as I am human. It is as human as I am human. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as caving is to crows or roaring to the lions. It is human speech, the speech of the mind that is here and not there, a mind that sees and hears and is aware, not the deaf blind speech of trees in storm or of monsoon clouds or of rain or the incoherent mutterings of the blazing funeral pyre. I was child, and latter they told me I grew, for I because tall my limbs swelled, and one or two places sprouted hair. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask, but ask for, he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. He did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. The weight of my breast and womb crushed me. I shrank pitifully. Then I wore a shirt and my brother's trousers, cut my hair short and ignored my womanliness. My womanliness, dress in saris. Be girl, be wife, they said. Be embroiderer, be cook, be a quarreler with servants. Fit in. Oh, belong, cried the categorizers. Don't sit on walls or peep in through our lace draped windows. Be Amy or be Kamala, or better still be Madhavi Kutti. It is time to choose a name, a role. Don't play pretending games. Don't play at schizophrenia or be a nympho. Don't cry embarrassingly loud when jilted in love. I mean, a man loved him. Call him not by any name. He's every man who wants a woman, just as I am every woman who seeks love in him. The hungry haste of rivers in me, the ocean's tireless waiting. Who are you? I ask each and every one. The answer is, it is I. Anywhere and everywhere I see the one who calls himself I. In this world he is tightly packed like the sword in its sheath. It is I who drink lonely drinks at 12 midnight in hotels of strange towns. It is I who laugh. It is I who make love and then feels shame. It is I who lie dying with a rattle in my throat. I am sinner, I am saint, I am the beloved and the betrayed. I have no joys that are not yours, no aches which are not yours. I too, all myself I. So here I wrote a summary for an introduction. So it's introduction of an introduction. The poem An Introduction is an autobiographical verse of Kamala Das that throws light on the life of a woman in the patriarchal poem. So here I have divided the poem into five parts for better understanding. This particular piece is one of her most well known. It was published in her first collection, Kamala Das. In her first collection, right? Kamala Das explores her complex emotions regarding the system controlling her life and the lives of countless suffering women. The poem focuses on love and the pain that follows betrayal. So, an introduction begins with the speaker Kamala Das is stating that she knows all the male leaders of India. Their names are a part of her. The poet starts explaining by saying that she doesn't know the politics yet. She is politics, yet she is well aware of politicians of her country, from Nehru to the ones of her own times. And as the politics of India has always remained in fever hands of males, she has memorized the names of all the politicians, like the days of the week or the names of the month. The lines depict how the male have been ruling the country. The lines depicts how the male have been ruling the country without giving this right to the women. Moreover, the rulers are fewer in numbers because democracy exists only in words. In reality, the rule of the country remains in the hands of some people only who have assumed themselves to be permanent rulers. Now the poet comes towards her own life experiences. She says that she is an Indian and brown in color as compared to the British. She is born in Malabar. She can speak three languages, write in two, and dream in one of the dreams have a universal language. In these lines, she explains her Indianness. Like most of the citizens of India, she is also capable of speaking three languages and writing in two, probably the English and her native. Once again, I repeat here. Like most of the citizens of India, she is also capable of speaking three languages and writing in two, probably the English and her native language. In my opinion, these lines can be interpreted in another way as well. The poet perhaps tries to show her ability in the educational sphere, which is no access to most of the women. Being well familiar with the English, she uses this language in her writings. However, this habit of her is not liked by her friends, relatives, and critics. They all condemn her for writing in English, as according to them, English is the language of the colonist. She asked them why they criticize her, why she is not given liberty to write in whatever language she desires. In these lines, she exposes the jealous nature of her nears and dears who cannot endure her skills. However, she asks them how a language can be owned by a particular community. It belongs to every person who uses it, and thus she should not be stopped from using it. The language in which she writes in her own, along with all its imperfections and strangeness. The language expresses her joy, grief, and hopes. For he. It is like caving is to crows and roaring is to the lions. That is, it is an integral part of her expression. She further says that her speech in English is the speech of humans, that minds can understand, and not strange and queer like the sound of trees in storms, or of monsoon clouds, or of rain, or of dead, as these voices cannot be understood. Next, she moves towards her married life. She was a child, although the size of her body grew up. That is, she entered the stage of puberty, yet her soul was immature. As she was still a child after marriage, she asked for love. The girl, after being married, desired her husband should show compassion to her and love her, but instead she is thrown to the bed and made to endure the pains of that she is not willing to do. She say that she was not beaten by him, yet her womanly body felt to be beaten and wounded, and thus she got tired of it. Her body means her body to avoid its load. She tried to become a tomboy by adapting the attires of males. But it was not led by her in-laws. They started taunting her. She was commanded to dress in saris, be a girl, wife, embroiderer, cook, quarreler with servants, etc., etc. These lines expose the condition of a woman in the house of her in-laws. She meets a man. The man is, according to her, the every man who desires a woman to quench his lust as a woman desires love from a man. When she asks him about his identity, his answer is I. This I, or the male ego, gives him the liberty to do whatever he likes. He can drink at midnight, laugh, and satisfy his lust. However, he feels ashamed after losing a woman due to his own shortcomings, and also this ego of I dies when the person dies, and thus his ends is no different than the end of the woman. And the last what I wrote is, hence, like him, she can also attribute the title of I to herself. Like men, she is also sinner and saint, beloved and betrayed. Her joys and pains are no different than those of men. Hence, she emancipates herself to the level of I. Moving on, now we will discuss about an introduction and the Sunshine Cat. These two poems a mixed answer. So in 2020-21's questions, the question be like, evaluate Kamala Das as a feminist with reference to her poems. And in 2017, the question asked in the form of a comment on Kamala Das's prescribed poems with feministic views. And in 2015, the question asked in the form of, consider Kamala Das as a poetess. And in 2014, discuss about the note of nostalgia in the poems of Kamala Das. So, how I wrote the introduction is, the poet Kamala Das is forever associated with the history of Indian feminism. Rather, she is the earliest pro-founder of Indian feminist trends. In her writings, we found joys and sorrows of a woman folk beautifully reflected with the most effective of efforts on her part. Whatever she wrote, her pen always wanted to capture some of the most problematic issues of Indian society, particularly the burning problems of women. In an introduction, Kamala Das appears as a typical feminist writer of India. Openly, she declares her free spirit to choose whatever she wants her best. She can speak three languages. She can write in two, and dreams in one of her cherished language, that is English. But the male dominant patriarchy never allows her to fulfill that dream, because they say English is not your mother tongue. What she wants most is her freedom. The Sunshine Cat is beyond doubt a poem of protest. Here, Kamala Das feels so resentful of her various lovers that nothing but tears can bring her any relief, and so she lies in her bed weeping. She would now build walls with tears, and at the end, she feels as if she were a half-dead woman, of no use at all to men. Her daring voice in an introduction goes on to discuss all the issues which were always considered as taboo. That is open writing about female adolescence. She not only writes about it, even she mentions what happens after that, how a passive woman had to bear the huge oppression of an unreciprocated conjugal life, whereby when the poet asked for love, she got not the love but a youth of 16 into the bedroom, closed the door. How a woman had to perish under the pressure of blind patriarchy. Like most of her confessional poems, The Sunshine Cat is another striking poem by Das. The poem is concerned with the plight of a woman who has become the prey of the lust of many men. She has not achieved emotional fulfillment with her husband as well as other men with whom she has been in intimate contact. They want her only sexually and don't respond to her love, and it brings identity crisis in her feminine self. The woman strives to find emotional fulfillment in love but proves to be futile. Her husband, a ruthless watcher, in the absence of love, he is interested in satisfying his lust and physical desire. She earns for love, but all of them refuse to love her, and all are equally proved to be lustful. She is so disgusted that she wants to wipe away their memories, their lust, their smells, and their ugly hair on their chest. She says, the life of a woman in male dominated society where her individuality, identity, and freedom are not at stake. A woman is always denied love and emotional fulfillment in her married life. It only fills a woman's life with frustrations and humiliations, of course. So the conclusion to the an introduction and the Sunshine Cat. How I return conclusion. To conclude, Kamala Das is the name of feminine sensibility. She is aware of her feminist identity and asserts it in her poems. Kamala Das writes in her poetry about the circumstances of woman and go against the predominance of man. So I hope you all like this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel Real Literature, liking, sharing, and if you have any queries regarding this topic, please ask me in the comment section below. Okay, bye.